What's up, bitches? Welcome to Deliciously Nothing, episode 127. I'm Nick Weir, and I've got my co-host with me.
Reverend Muffington.
And then I got the beautiful and sweet Kris Gulvezan.
What's up?
And fucking Will Gunderson. I picked fantastic names to do this with. They're both awesome people in our scenes. We're gonna chat with you guys.
And Kris
tonight.
is beautiful and sweet. Let's make
And
it.
you're fucking.
And that's fucking. Oh, and Will. Well, no, I love Will too. Will's a great dude.
No, we'll stick with pure loathing. Let's start the podcast off with loathing.
Well, speaking of, it's a tradition that we do a shot on the show. You guys are interested in doing a shot?
I don't think I've ever said no to that question.
Sure. I'm in.
It is only the finest for you two boys tonight. We
Kentucky
have
Gents.
Kentucky
Nick, would you do the honors for our guest
Deluxe.
here?
Yes, I
Thank
will
you, sir.
pour it.
Don't make it too tall.
I will do two.
All right. Well, you guys have never been on the show before, so we'll one at a time. What got you guys into comedy?
Is that? You can give that.
You
to
go.
Will.
All right, I'll take that. What? You want to go, Kris?
You can answer the question.
What got me into love of the game and self-loathing? Is that? I think that's
part of it.
Yeah,
That's definitely part of it.
yeah. I think that's kind of the summary. I don't know. I started when I moved to Nashville. I was looking for something to do. I'd loved it forever, and I just started bombing and decided I was masochistic enough to keep doing it.
You did.
Yeah.
All right.
I remember seeing you up like a year and a
Jeez.
half, 2 years ago.
Like right when I started, it would have been like a year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you take the Third Coast class? I don't remember.
I took one of them. Yeah.
Nice.
I was me, Kate Carter, and James Holiday. So it's just a squad of people so talented, and me like got dick jokes.
Oh, dude, you're also talented though. That's a
It is-
great group.
It's
such
fun.
Yeah, it's such a fun class to be with.
I got very tight with James Holiday early, who's such a lovely man, a bizarre person to be tight with. He'd be a fun one for this show too.
Right, James
Yeah.
would be great.
Yeah.
Actually, he'd be very fun. His stand up would be great too because he's got such a character
Yeah.
that he does and everything.
Dude, I don't think it's a character.
Nice.
It's him.
I've been hanging out with him enough not at comedy. I think that's just who he is.
This is him.
Yeah, it's just like he wears fur-length white coat, like fur floor-length white coats on stage, and I'm like, he's doing that for the bit. He's doing that, and then I'll see him in public, and I'm like, turns out it wasn't a bit.
Oh, you'll actually see him wearing that.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I just don't see him out like that.
Yeah.
You know?
It reminds me of Andre. Andre wears the floor length fucking fur
The
coat.
trench
Yeah.
coat.
Yes, and pajama pants.
Yeah.
Let's not forget the pajama pants.
You gotta be comfortable.
Yeah, man.
He looks like what my
more-
grandpa thinks a hacker is.
That's
A
100%.
man with glasses and a long jacket.
Yeah.
And pajama pants.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So what got you into comedy?
I was just in college when I tried it the first couple times, and then I just remember like after I performed, I was like, this is something I really want to do. And then I also graduated in the pandemic, so I was like, I can't really get a normal job right away. Like, anyways, so I was like, let me just move to Detroit, be kind of close to home.
Oh my God.
Well, I was from.
Oh my God.
I
just moved to Detroit.
Right.
I live not even an hour away, so it was me like, I just need to get out of my parents' house, and I was like, I need to go to a city that has this. So I was like, let me stay close to home, because like
So you lived originally outside of Detroit.
when I first moved there, I lived like downtown for 2 years, and then the last like year I kind of bounced around before coming here to Nashville.
Wait,
in, like,
you grew up
February.
in Ann Arbor, right?
Yeah.
So you went,
That's
wait, the
sick.
best college town in America is not lively enough. Let me hit downtown Detroit.
Well, I went to college in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. It was a fun place,
Oh.
but
Okay.
yeah. I had friends that went. I don't know. I don't know what else.
I see.
But then now I'm here, so I mean,
And now
you
you're
kind of
here
it's kind of
hanging out
similar.
with
You just
us,
like
dude.
keep on doing it, especially like after you just bomb that first time. The second time I ever did it, it's probably the worst I've ever done. Still, it was 10 minutes of just zero laughs almost.
The second time you ever did it was 10 minutes?
dude.
I didn't know, dude. I forgot my stuff. I
Jeez.
was looking at my like phone or whatever.
10 minutes is
It's
nuts
such
for a
long
second time.
set to do.
Had no idea how long I was up there for. It felt like an eternity. I thought it was like 5 minutes, and then I looked down and I was like, oh, okay, let me leave.
Wow. Holy shit.
Are you guys, Nick, you're from Nashville.
Yes.
Have you ever lived anywhere else?
No.
Dude,
No,
all right, you've
I've
seen.
only lived here.
To be fair, it's two separate cities from 20 years ago to now, but
Exactly. I mean, like I've moved to like different areas of town, and that is it. Like, it's it is a very different place. But stand up wise, like I've only been doing it for like 3 years.
Yeah.
About. I started like February of 2021. Not a good time to do it because it was like just Twin Kegs was open.
well, it's also that's wild to me because like a lot of the people that I see you with a lot are people that have been doing stand up for a decade.
Yeah, I like to hang out with
Accomplished.
my
I like to
buddies,
spend time with
dude.
really accomplished
Well,
comics.
So for Will and Evan, for example, like Will Abels and Evan Burke, like they both moved to Nashville around the time that I started.
Okay.
And Brandon had also moved to Nashville like a few months before that and started working at my company, and that's how I.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So weird to think of Brandon with like a big boy job.
Right, exactly, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he still has like a job like that.
Yeah.
He just like I don't really know what he like does, you know.
He's doing well,
He
dude.
works
That's a
with,
nice
like,
motorcycle.
hedge funds or some shit. I don't know.
Well, you've not always been here, right? You've been all over.
Mainly here, but New York is where I originate from.
Okay.
Yeah.
City or?
It was Long Island.
Okay.
So it was a culture shock moving from Long Island, New York to Nashville, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Back when racism was very prominent, bigotry was very prominent. It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy in fact that I remember I had a Knight Rider big wheel, and I was so proud of it and everything. And the kids were talking shit about my neighbors, and it was a gay couple. But they were the coolest motherfuckers I had ever met. Like, they were the first people I ever met that had an Atari. Like, they let me fucking play their Atari while my mom and them were fucking getting high and shit, man. I was like, fuck yeah, Atari. And then one of them was like a makeup artist, so he put on, I had blonde hair, and he put on a mustache that matched my hair color, but it looked for real, and I'm like flipping out in the mirror. I was like, holy shit. I was walking around the fucking apartment complex. You know, like,
I'm a man now.
Yeah. Like, they were the coolest fucking people that I've ever met. And then people were like shit bashing them and everything. I was like, nah, dude. I mean, like, yeah. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about. And so I wasn't, subscribing to that bullshit. Those motherfuckers took my fucking big wheel, and I couldn't find it for like 3 fucking days. When I did finally find it, my brother found it in the dumpster. He was, I guess, climbing in for something. We pulled it out. So big wheels back in the day were made out of like a serious, like thick plastic resin. I mean, these sons of bitches, man, you just can't. It looked like they had taken an axe where you can see, like, trying to destroy it. And it was like literally trying to pull it out. It was still mainly in one piece, and they couldn't, like, destroy it the way, I guess they wanted to kind of like maybe separate the remains or anything. But literally someone had an axe, and they hacked it the fuck up and then threw it in the dumpster.
Because you spent time with the gay couple?
Because I lived next door, and I guess I thought it was cool that they were cool people.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like, it was just like, it was one of my very first lessons in bigotry, like, 'cause I've never been exposed to that. In Long Island, there was so many different people and all different types that we didn't have that problem.
Oh, yeah.
Coming here, it was, and then also the white-black thing was so disgusting at the time. I mean, I couldn't. I farted in class, and I couldn't stop.
Hilarious.
Yeah, right.
Every time funny.
Exactly right. And I couldn't stop. Like, I would get up and I would like drink some water at the water fountain in the room and everything. And I couldn't like stop laughing. I was so tickled with it. So the teacher got pissed off with me, black teacher. She got me into the hallway, but then she took me into the supply closet and then shut the door. There's no other teacher, no one else around. And like, I'm like, what the hell? And then she like bends over and gets in my face with her finger and then starts, using, I'll be the worst N-word that you've ever met in your life and everything. And I'm like 7, something like that, and this is like an accomplished teacher and shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I tell my mom when I get home, gave no fucking shits and everything. It's just like, it was just so crazy. It was just a crazy time.
I've got nothing. I look like this, dude. I got
I
nothing.
got nothing with that,
But
dude.
I will
got
say,
nothing with that, and I'll just say, I didn't really have a problem with any of my teachers. I can think of one I butted heads with, but it was
Did you ever just have weird teachers?
Yeah.
Define weird.
She
Like-
was.
Like, what? All right, well, so we'll go around. But as
Same.
far as like your weird, who's your weirdest teacher? I kind of actually talked about, I think, last week on the show about my art teacher, so I'll bring up somebody else. But clearly, my art, the one that was stealing my art. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Was your art sick? Were you doing cool stuff, or was it just like this boy?
So it was like, you know, it was really fucked up stuff. But like, so like, I did a lot of psychedelics and everything, and so like some of the things that I would paint would be like, my mom was into Stephen King books, right? So she had all these like paperbacks, and they had like these, you know, like I remember, like art class was like the only class I was really getting a grade in. Like as long as I turned in something, I had a math class, and the teacher, as long as I was turning in something, so I would draw in class, and turn it in at the end of the class and get a grade on it. Like she would give me a passing grade on it. You know, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
But it was So but like. Anyway, I was like, remember that I had to draw something or paint something for class, so I would like pull out like Pet Cemetery, and I would draw or paint that cover real quick, like within like 10 minutes, just do it really quick, and then like it's still drying on the bus and shit. So by the time I get to my art class and like third period, it's dry. So my art would start disappearing. Like, I would turn in something, and then at the next day, it'd be gone, and I was like, well, where's my shit, and not that I gave a fuck, and not like I ever gave any attitude, but it was like, oh, my shit's gone. And then I guess he felt like guilty about it. So he came in, like the first time he did it, he came in and he brought me a canvas that was a little bit bigger than the canvas that I had. And then the next time he did it, he brought in 2 canvases, and they were like huge, brand new canvases, still in the plastic and shit like that. And so it occurred to me that he had to be stealing my shit. So I kept painting stuff, and then he probably stole maybe about 6 paintings from the entire time that I was in his class. And I'm talking like maybe 2, maybe a semester.
Was he like hanging up a child's picture of Pet Cemetery at home?
I don't know.
Or like...
I don't know what it was. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know.
Selling them?
Well, see, I don't know if he was doing it to other students. I mean, clearly, maybe he had to be if he was, taking my shit.
He opens up his own gallery, which is
Right.
everybody else's.
Isn't it
thing.
weird?
Well, you get a deal on canvases if you bulk buy.
But it was just weird because, it was just kind of like the guilt. I mean, I can kind of read people and everything. So it was just like when he brought in the canvas, it was just like, oh, you must have taken it and you're feeling guilty. Not that first of all, I gave away everything that I've ever done. I've always given it away. So if it was anything that he had ever wanted, it was like, hey, man, you going to do anything with that? I'd be like, no, man, fucking take it. It would do me better if, to give it to somebody if it made them happy and they wanted it. And that's the way I always felt with my art. So if he would have just asked for it, it'd been like, do you want me to paint you something in particular? But the fact that he was taking them and reimbursing me with extra canvases, which was kind of
Right.
It feels weird.
Right.
yeah. But all right, so did you say yours? Your weirdest teacher?
No, I was thinking about mine, and then we went into your art teacher, and I can't. Like my first one, I couldn't think. I've got one in mind, but like she's not particularly interesting. She just like
You just
looked
wanted to
funny.
fuck her.
No, she looked funny. She looked. She was shaped kind of like Grimace in a way, with like her hair and everything. It just the way with her shoulders, and I don't know. She was my geometry teacher. I can't remember her name. Was it Miss Baumgartner or something in like middle school? I don't know.
So I actually had a Baumgartner too.
Really?
Math teacher.
Math teacher.
She had a water gun, and if you fell asleep in class, you got pelted, and it sucked because it was cold. I don't know if that bitch put it in the fucking refrigerator before class, but man, if you fell asleep in class, you're getting hit with that fucking.
That's
water
awesome,
gun. Yeah.
honestly.
It's
Now
so
I
funny to me
remember.
to be like looking back like 30 years later and be like, that teacher was a bitch.
I remember.
That is an insane thing to do.
I
It's
said it
hilarious.
so much when I was like 12. I was like, this teacher's a bitch. And then you're like 40, like, still stand by that, actually. Looking back,
They
raging bitch.
You know, I had some cool teachers, though. I will say, like, I had a cinema studies teacher. We just like watched movies
In high school?
In high school,
That's
and he was
sick.
also my
That's right.
guitar teacher for 3 years.
Did you go to high school? You went to high school in Nashville?
In Antioch? Yeah.
Did you go to like a magnet school or something?
No,
or you just
just
had cool
Antioch
classes?
public
They didn't
school.
have that shit when I was at Antioch.
Antioch. So like Antioch had culinary. We had fucking
Culinary.
piano, guitar. I mean, you could do a lot of stuff. Culinary. Like we had a whole like kitchen and everything. A whole like
Culinary.
Well,
culinary.
That
Culinary.
Culinary.
culinary. Well, that was our
Culinary.
teachers. Dude, it is funny that your high school had a full culinary school, and the best food on Nolansville, anywhere near Antioch, is just like dudes with a grill behind a gas station.
Right, dude.
Just roasting whole chickens.
That's Antioch hard at work, dude. That's what it is.
That's work study, baby.
I mean, I had one friend from high school that like went on, like he took those classes in high school and then went to college and did it, and then he has like a food truck and like his own like food services and stuff. But it's the only one I know. You know,
Movies and TV shows make working in a kitchen look so cool.
The Chef
And-
and the Bear have
Right.
not
Yeah,
helped
dude.
recently.
Dude, anything
Chef,
Anthony
so
Bourdain
good,
did,
dude.
oh, like yeah,
Anthony
it all
Bourdain,
looked
too.
so sick. And then you work as like a line cook or a busboy for a week, and you're like, how's everybody here not killed themselves yet?
You work in a week in like food, and you're like, oh, I understand why everyone does drugs in the
Yeah.
kitchen. Like,
Well, the thing about that is he uses that experience of being a busboy and a dishwasher. Man, if you've never been a dishwasher in a steakhouse, God fucking damn, dude. So I was a dishwasher at a steakhouse, and I walked out.
Really?
The manager came back, and he was complaining that I guess silverware was being thrown away. So while we were sitting there washing dishes, in the middle of just a rush and everything, he takes the garbage can, big old fucking like 40-gallon fucking garbage can, and dumps it over and sifts through it, and he finds 2 forks in there, okay, but makes this big old thing and then tells us to clean it up because he was accusing us of throwing the fucking forks away. I said, fuck you, and I walked the fuck out. As I'm walking home, a friend of mine's house or apartment complex is burning on fire, and I was like,
Shit.
holy shit, yeah, it's nighttime, you can see the fucking flames, I was like, so I ran over, and it was his apartment that was on fire, and I wound up helping him move his shit out before the fire got there, and sure enough, the fucking fire ate that whole goddamn building. So
did he still have any forks and silverware left? After?
I'm sure he had all his forks and silverware. Ponderosa, however, probably was missing. Dude,
I don't know. I was
Did
in
you?
an
Did they
apartment
ever
fire,
figure
and I
out what
didn't
caused?
get, I don't
Like who
have
was
anything
putting
from it.
the silverware in there? Was it just the waiters?
no,
and
I think it was
waitresses?
just some dude playing Boston, being a dumbass, and yet he probably found a couple of pieces of silverware in it, but wanted to make a spectacle. And like dudes like that, A, don't need to be in management because that's not a fucking manager, and B, that's not how you approach shit at all, especially in this day of fucking age.
No, that's,
So yeah, no, I walked. the
that guy
fuck out.
punches the wall in rec basketball.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like and it's
And
also
calls
just
way too many fouls.
douchebaggery too. I mean, that type of behavior, man. I mean, it's just like so. As a store manager, I've fired so many assistant managers for being douchebags to the other employees. Like this one dude just fucking just heckling another employee and then trying to write him up because he didn't like him and shit, trying to get rid of him. And then every time it would come to me and everything, I was like, dude, just leave him alone. And like the third time it came to me, I fired the assistant
That's sick.
in front of the employee.
Let's go.
And I made my
nice.
case, and I was like, this is, it was just a thing. It's like to the point where like I got so sick and tired of the way, like there's a dude that I work with now. I work at the dildo factory. And this dude fucks
Yes.
with the drivers who come in who get loaded up with the dildos. And to the point where like drivers don't get paid. They only get paid for mileage. So if they're sitting around and everything and they're not getting paid. So this dude was sitting there and everything. I had come back from lunch and I normally don't have jack shit to fucking do. So he called me over and I was like, what do you got? And it was like for us. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it off for you and everything. And then the guy that's over me tells me not to because he came early or some shit like that. But again, we have nothing to do. But then he had asked, he told dude, he was like, hey, I'll unload you now, but if you go get a trailer for me. And dude was like, no, I'll go do it for $20. And he was like, no, you can go ahead and sit and wait. So made dude wait. And dude doesn't get paid for waiting that time. And I really looked at him. If I was his boss, I would have fired him right then on the spot.
Yeah.
Then I would have got the next person in line, promoted him, and made sure that son of a bitch right there got fucking unloaded. Because there was no reason for him to fucking sit there. No. I would have fired that motherfucker. And that's not the first. I see him doing it all the time. And me being, cause the reason why I'm at the job now is because I don't want that stress. I don't want that. Because it's just being in like retail management, it's just daily confrontation.
Yeah.
That is
it's
so
always
true.
like it's either a pissed off customer or it's some kind of internal thing. And the internal things are always firing. Dude, I went to fire somebody one time because I guess they were accused of stealing. So I had to sit in there with loss control because I was a store manager. And this girl swapped personalities and lost her shit to the point where it was such like a foray is the only word I can describe it. I mean, it was just like she like grabbed her hair like this and it was like, I can't help what's coming next. And then just flipped out and everything. And then the whole time, like afterward we found out she had turned into a different personality, but was so combative. It was like I was with a female fucking security person too, the head of security. She was female and had like, I guess thought I was gonna. She was like outweighed me by 2 times. I mean, I just like clearly. I mean, she was throwing ham hocks. I mean, it was just like I didn't sign up for this shit.
No.
It was just, dude.
If I wanted to get beat up by a woman, I'd still be in Iowa.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. My lady does jujitsu. She's over there watching UFC right now, dude.
Yeah.
She puts me in holds and stuff, and I'm like,
Nice.
oh, dear. I'm in trouble.
Not bad, Nick. Not bad.
I'm in trouble.
Brag about it, Nick.
Pat yourself on the back, dude.
I can't wait. It's all right.
Speaking of, you guys want to do another shot?
Twist my arm.
All right.
Hey, if a robber breaks into our house, like they've got to get through the pit bull and my girlfriend that does jujitsu.
That would have
like,
to be the scariest fucking. You know that you
Dude.
fucked up when you
That
fucking,
dog.
Yeah.
Imagine getting past the pit bull and just getting clocked by like a 130-pound woman.
Or they're working in tandem.
Dude, she could hide in the ledge and like jump through, like down onto somebody and just like.
Can she do chucks? Does she do chucks?
I don't know.
Can you do chucks?
Can I do what?
Nunchucks.
No.
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 I'm imagining like Smeagol sneaking up on the ring, like jumping off a cliff, like
No, dude,
Goldberg.
she's like a spider monkey, dude. She will.
She's like a spider monkey that puts me in positions, guys. It's really dangerous and not awesome. Not the best gig I've ever figured out.
I'm totally not describing every guy's fantasy.
Exactly.
I didn't Google spider monkey woman for 3 years first.
But man, what I'm saying, it'd be dangerous to break into my home. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
that-
think is it.
You're
thief
correct.
I learned
that
also
thief
in
might get
Tennessee
just what he
it's
wants.
dangerous to break into people's homes because everybody here has a gun, or
That
at least
is
like 5.
Also true. I own a gun. There you go. There's that too.
Have you ever fired the gun?
I have fired a few. I've fired quite a few.
All right. So Nick and weaponry.
There you go. 2 weapons.
To
There we
weapons.
go.
They're always
Cheers.
fun.
The weapon you're dating,
Not
dude.
like I will say I'm not like I'm saying guns are fun, but I'm not pro gun. You know.
So do you
Is my thing.
challenge Virginia, or does Virginia challenge you? Like who instigates the ass whipping?
Honestly,
Clearly, she whips your ass, right?
Oh, she whips my ass, dude. She whips my ass. I feel like it just happens. It's all sporadic.
All right, let's say you walk home on your birthday, long day at work, and you open the door, and it's all dark, and the Undertaker music comes on. Are you aroused, or are you like, fuck?
I am confused because I wouldn't know that she likes wrestling, and I also don't like wrestling. So
I was just thinking about the positions you could be.
Just the John Cena.
She's behind the door, like.
Dude, that okay. Oh,
that was the direction I was trying to go. I just illustrated it. Yeah.
So I got an idea. What we ought to do, we'll do an episode of DNP, in Andy Kaufman inspired, where you, Sloan, and I will take on 3 female MMA. You know 2 other MMA? She's checked out.
No, she's into her.
But we have like 2 others. It'll be you, me, and Sloan.
Yes.
And we'll do an episode where we get all shit faced, and then we'll go against 3 female MMA.
And
like no striking. Them. Yeah, like no striking. But
obviously, no striking.
But yeah.
But just like straight up wrestling.
Yeah.
And like grappling and stuff.
Yeah, grappling, submission.
Deliciously nothing. We fight 3 women. We did nothing, and it was delicious.
And it's gonna be on camera.
I think.
But we got come to this garage. We'll roll on top of each other.
We get like the wrestling unitards, like they had back in the '70s. You know, like Jerry the King Lawler and shit. You know,
dude, you 3 are the unitards in this situation.
Unitards.
100%. Yeah, Joe's versus Pros.
Oh my God.
We can take female MMA fighters. Us 3 unitards will take them out.
That's the thing. We know we can't.
I was not agreeing to any of that. I was listening. Because I already know what she could do. You know.
Right.
So, I feel like if we had to do that...
But it would also be funny to see, like, how quickly it would end.
It would. Oh, man.
He ends pretty quick, don't worry.
It would take 5 seconds. Maybe, and it would be done. You know?
When we end and when we finish, different things.
when we end and when we... Yes, 100%. The finish line, far away, buddy. Real far away, but... yeah.
That's too funny.
I gotta find an MMA fighter. Fuck.
Yeah, dude. I found her on Bumble, dude. Try Bumble. I don't know.
All right.
Craigslist man-seeking female MMA fighter.
Yeah. Just find...
You're gonna find yourself on dominatrix like forums really quickly.
You gotta be a certain level of like charismatic for Bumble to work on that level, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, you had to put your best foot forward on
now,
Bumble.
Bumble is where the females contact you.
Not anymore.
Not
they
anymore.
Changed it, yeah.
Really?
Now you can harass them as much as you want.
Yeah, no, they had complaints from users. Like, a lot of women didn't know that they were supposed to, like, message first. Because they're, like, a lot of young kids, like, are 18 now. The app's, like, old as hell. Or they would just be like, I don't like the pressure. Which is like, that was also the whole point. So they were like, well, just switch it up because it's what people that are using the app want.
To be fair, when I had Bumble, most of the messages I got were just, hey. I'm like, all right, so the burden of the conversation is still on
dudes,
me.
Yeah, dudes would still complain.
Okay,
So
but
like
you get the hey, but then when you reply back, do you get a second reply back?
Well, you only if you like put in something basically that's like a first response or whatever. I had my best luck on Bumble. The other 2 were not so, like Hinge and Tinder. I think everyone finds like one that works for them.
I met my lady on Hinge and it was...
There you go.
Yeah,
See?
yeah.
I think Tinder and comedians don't really work. Tinder is usually just like if you're a model, and that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Or have a lot of money. Like
I will say, dude,
6'7".
The first like month or 2 I was dating my lady, I didn't have any pictures of her. So anytime my friends would ask me like, hey, what is like show me a picture of
you showed
like,
her the Tinder account?
Well, I have to re-download a Hinge and be like, this is her, and then I have to be like, wait, holy shit, I hope she doesn't know, like, I gotta delete this before she sees it, and I gotta make sure no one else, like, sees me on Hinge. This has gotta go.
Dude, what the heck? Why didn't you have a picture?
No, see,
of
I
her?
like
we were
that.
too busy goofing around, dude. We weren't like going on dates,
I'm
like
with you.
pausing, like ooh.
At least early in a relationship,
Yeah,
I
we're
get
having
weirded
fun.
out when people ask, like, "Oh, let me see a picture. Let me see a picture." I'm like, I've been on like only a couple dates so far, or whatever.
Oh,
I'm weird by that. If
I
it's like
see.
someone I've been dating for a long time, then yeah.
Also,
like
we
1
were-
month is
yeah.
nothing too long.
Also, like I feel like to take a picture, either somebody else has got to take it, or you got to be in a setting where you've like stopped what you're doing to take a picture.
and they were only in
And
alleys having sex.
always, yeah. We were at the MMA gym.
They were rolling around.
Yeah, no, we
doing
were always
drills.
just like having fun, and we were never like pause.
To get an athlete's foot.
I
I
get
think
what
some
you
guys
mean.
have
I
athlete's
see
foot
what you mean.
fetishes. Like they like the smell of that bacteria.
Dude, the number of girls.
There's
that are, like,
guys in everything, so you never know.
I think
feel like
foot
probably.
fetish is making a major. Either it's always been there and I just didn't know about it, or it's making a major comeback. Because like
Really?
none of my guy friends have ever talked about it, but like girlfriends of mine have been like, yeah, like every third guy has been like, "Can I suck your toes?"
Wow.
Like those numbers are nuts.
Well, I guess that's not the
Yeah.
craziest thing. Sucking toes isn't like that far compared to like
No,
all the
it's
other
not.
foot stuff you can do.
I don't think anybody's sucking toes that isn't interested in the other foot stuff.
Oh, agreed.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Agreed.
That's
Yeah.
their segue. They're like, now that I've lubed them up, can you?
I think it's always been there. I
Yeah.
think it has always been there. It's just like maybe it's not always talked about because there's new things that come up. You
Yeah.
know, like 2016 happened and Kevin Gates and eating ass and shit, and that has been solid ever since too.
Well, feet
You
have been
know?
around forever, so like that's one of the OG
Yeah.
fetishes. Like,
No, people were walking around on little pegs till like 1995.
well, like a lot of the new fetishes are all like crazy, like based on like TV shows or like some random cultural shit.
Yeah,
Feet, though,
a
feet,
lot of
it's
it is
like-
all like specific to certain niches and such.
Well, also the
Yeah.
fact that like everybody that is like, our age also has had porn since they were 14.
Yes,
True,
That's true.
Like,
iPod touches were
14 is
awesome.
also being
Yeah.
generous. Like,
I was a sweet innocent boy. I don't know what you were like. It's a man of God until I was 14.
11. Early on the curve.
I
That is
couldn't
early.
imagine having porn.
You
so
say that, but
early
I'm
at
mad.
that
It was-
age.
Well, I remember like I definitely got into porn late. I caught time,
Yeah.
but I remember like when I was like living in my parents' house, knowing it was out there and trying to search things that would lead me to porn without
On the
looking at
family
porn.
computer.
Yeah, or like the shared iPad or whatever. Just like looking for something that might lead to porn that wasn't porn.
National Geographic.
Yeah, yeah, droopy swingers, like just trying to find something, just anything, like.
Well, I grew up in the VHS era, so that's pretty much like it
Yeah.
was either a magazine or it was a VHS cassette.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the first time I saw porn on a phone. I was a store manager at Kmart, and there was a couple of kids that were down the aisle and everything, and they were like watching something on like the new smartphone. And I guess it was like 2008. I mean, it was like right when smartphones came out. And so I walked up on it, and they're like, "Man, check this out," and everything. And like they were watching like porn on it, but it was just like I was like so intrigued on just the picture and the picture quality and all the like. It was just like I couldn't believe this device, and it was just like I wasn't even really like I knew that
Yeah.
they were watching porn and everything, but it was just like I was so just astounded of the quality. And they're sitting in the middle of a fucking Kmart watching porn. So A, I had to be a manager, like, hey guys, put that away. But again, B,
Stay in the store, please.
yeah, but B, I was just like, dude, that was just like impressive.
Yeah.
Like just the quality, like high definition. It was just like insane. Like my computer at home didn't look that good.
Do you think when Andrew Carnegie created the public libraries he did, he was like, someday homeless guys are going to watch great porn in here?
so you sound like my uncle when he told me about the first time he watched like virtual reality porn. He said,
Wow, that's
so he's a
different.
truck driver. And
Oh,
so,
shit.
And so, yeah, no, that's exactly how this happened. This
First
is
time I watched
exactly,
virtual reality porn, I killed 4 people.
dude. So that's exactly how this happened. Because so one porn is
I
like
ran a train on a
Oh.
minivan.
all those like groundbreaking technologies like always happen like first in porn. So like
Didn't payment, like credit cards on the internet, was like porn first,
exactly
right?
like PayPal and stuff was
Yeah.
because of like they wanted to pay like people that were on like webcams and shit. All of that stuff goes back to porn. So the first virtual reality shit was from like 10, 15 years ago, and it was all just because of like porn, a little bit of video games, but like still,
Yeah.
look what there's more.
Porn is the innovators.
true.
DVD,
Hey,
Blu-ray,
DVDs,
VHS,
exactly.
VHS.
They were
Yeah.
porn theaters and stuff.
Mhm,
Like
yeah.
they kind of were the reason why like DVDs went away, like you said, and all that.
I'm pretty sure that's why there's stalls in men's bathrooms.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's fair. I think that's a.
So yeah, this other truck driver had like this device or whatever. Like probably this would have been like 8 years ago or so, based on how my uncle told the story.
Okay.
But he was on the road at one of these stops, and some guy was like, "Hey, do you want to check out this like virtual reality porn?" And he was like, he was in this like little cardboard box sort of thing and
Whoa,
whatnot.
whoa.
What?
Back up just a little.
Like a cardboard box, like VR headset, or what are we talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Okay.
Wait, is he sitting in his truck?
Yeah, I mean that they're just hanging out there. I mean, I guess
They're
compared to like
hanging out there.
compared to like I mean, normally what happens at these places is there's like glory holes and like lot
Right,
lizards.
lot
So like,
lizards.
I think, hey, do you want to watch something on my phone? It's much like more normal, I guess, compared to the other stuff that goes around there. So I'm sure to my uncle, who's like he's a family man, at least now.
You want to see what's on the other side of the glory hole? I found a picture.
He puts the visor on, they're all jerking off
Yeah.
around him.
But my uncle, he was telling me, he was like, bro, this is insane. He was like, yeah, this is like 8 years ago. He's like, now you can just do this on your phone. This is crazy. And I was
Dude, that
like,
has to be a cheat code. Like going to a glory hole, putting on a VR headset, and just
probably.
you don't have to stare at the graffiti of Joe Biden on the wall.
Some weird phone number to text.
I could never
Orgy here
put
now.
my dick in a random hole. There was just,
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
yeah, just because, nothing good is going to be on the other. There's not going to be like some like out of work supermodel on the other side of that fucking thing, man.
Yeah,
It's going to be a
no.
dude. You're probably going to feel his mustache.
Or just
Unless
could
you
be an
like
Eastern
smoke
European
some
woman.
PCP.
It could be.
No, it's
someone missing a few teeth, maybe. I don't know.
So I've never had a gummer. I've heard that gummers are great, but like someone who has a gummer, A is like old as fuck, or B is methed out. Two situations. I'm not interested in I'm not interested. Like
Sure.
if I'm the very first thing I'm looking for in dating, especially at my age, do they have their teeth?
that's
That,
one.
that's
Yes.
what I'm looking for
That's
in a
one.
woman. Like weight, I don't give two fucks
What's funny
about.
is at our age, it's like, do they use their teeth? Very similar, but
So actually, I like when they
Boom.
use their teeth. I like to be.
but
bitten.
you're gonna say like a
Not
little
hard.
bit. Yeah, see, so like
not,
a little
not
bit.
hard, but like I
Yeah.
like to be bitten.
What I've learned so far today is
Oh.
that you and Nick both like a little bit of pain.
In different ways. In different ways.
I like one made with love. I don't know
What is
What
that?
happened to fucking? I don't understand. Everyone wants to be choked.
I like it when we make eye contact during. I don't know. You guys are freaks.
I mean, we also make eye contact, you know?
Say uncle. Say uncle.
What's weird is someone that wants to fuck only with the lights turned out. That like every once in a while I can probably get it like set the mood, but like to like religiously like all right, so what are you hiding? What's going on? Why? Because like to me, I like to have lights on. Are you a lights on person?
Yeah.
Are you a lights on person?
The first time I ate pussy was during the day, at like 5 o'clock. The sun was shining in. It was
Best
awesome.
time to eat pussy.
Yeah, sunset for sure.
Yeah, an appetizer.
I called my friend. I said I was like, I don't know why I hadn't done this before, and I don't know why every man doesn't do this every day. I think society would be. I genuinely said if like society would be perfect that every day like a woman had a man to eat her out, or I mean if they're lesbian then like have another woman. But like you know what I mean. I was and as a man I was like this is happy. Like I was good. I was feeling good.
Society gets better when it gets licked.
If Putin was eating out pussy like every morning, I don't think he'd be invading Ukraine.
I've never seen a man I'm less confident eats pussy. Dude,
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
dude, that guy looks like he throws up and closes his eyes right before.
Yeah, dude,
Men fuck. Men do not eat pussy.
I feel like he probably doesn't even do like missionary or anything. You
No,
know?
dude.
Like he probably just does.
It's
like,
doggy style, so they can
or
both watch the
something.
news. It's-
Right. Like he just. Oh,
oh, look, there's your missing persons photo.
I don't think so.
That's good. Oh, shit.
Wait, what? Tell us about some crazy teachers. I'll tell mine.
Oh,
after.
yeah,
we were
let's get
talking
back
about.
to that.
Oh,
I have got a lot of teachers
I don't
I
have
can shit
I don't
on,
have a
so.
crazy teacher story, but I want to circle back to something you're talking about earlier with like early homophobia.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's go back
'Cause
to his
that's-
teacher story because he's got a teacher.
Do the teacher,
story.
and then I'll because I don't have a good
We can
teacher
go
story.
after this. I gotta finish smoking.
All right, it's I guess kind of correlated to teacher.
You guys.
Let me have a sec. Let me figure out where I'm at, and then I will. Let me take it. I'll still drink it. Just give me a time to measure. No, when Iowa was the second state in the union to legalize gay marriage, which is insane.
Really?
First of all, like
Oh yeah.
the fact that we beat out the entire West Coast is insane. It's like, good on us. But so when I was like 8 or 9, it was like everybody was coming to Iowa to get married, and one of my when I was young, like a sports instructor was a lesbian who was getting married, and my mom was a
she
traffic
cute?
sports instructor lesbian.
Again, was she cute?
No,
Okay.
I don't like. I'm trying to think of a metaphor, but I can't. No, but my mom was a traffic judge at the time, which meant that she could legally marry people.
Oh,
Because
sick.
judges could marry. That's like what that law in Iowa was. That a judge could, and not all judges agreed to do it, but judges you could have a gay wedding, and my mom was gonna marry them.
In traffic court.
No, just as a
Oh.
judge.
That would be
In
hilarious.
traffic.
In the middle of one of those like they're doing the thing like the stop, got kids crossing. It's like you may now
Speaking
kiss
of
the
running
bride.
the red, these two are going the whole way.
Right, dude. I'm like. Whew.
But I
All
went
right,
to the
okay.
wedding. We were invited to the wedding. My mom was the officiator, and my mom was like, "Do you guys want to go? Just so you know, it's a lesbian wedding." And my two brothers were like, "Of course." My other brother's like, "Yeah, for sure." And I'm like, "Fuck no." And mom was like, "Why are you uncomfortable with seeing them get married?" And the instructor was, if she was a man, she would have been a lineman. Is how I'll say it.
Okay.
Beefy.
Yeah, it's a
Beefy.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the boy lesbian.
I think I've heard you describe her with this before as bred for winter.
Bred for winter,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, Midwestern.
Yeah.
Some would say.
No,
I mean, that's Iowa.
and my mom was like,
wow.
"Do you want to go to the wedding?" I was like, "No." And she was like, "Is it because they're lesbians?" It's like, "No, I just don't want to see that person in a dress." And I was like 8. I forgot about it. And then I get to the wedding, and my mom's the officiator who's like telling all these stories. And my mom picked that story to tell at the wedding to the whole
What?
crowd and the couple. And I'm just sitting in the back at 8, like, I think I'm getting flamed. I think I'm the piece of shit here. And that was my first experience to any form of homophobia, was me. Yeah, like 8 or 9.
All right.
Guys, they teach them young in
Those are
Iowa.
good ones.
Yeah.
Iowa, progressive state.
Very progressive state.
Well, that's about how I was when I first got hit with my first form of bigotry. Pretty much was about 8. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just I don't know. Maybe that's probably around 7, 8 is when you actually start to kind of realize it. Maybe you're no longer playing with your GI Joes anymore. Like now shit's getting real.
Now you realize what they're doing in real life.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
That's
All right.
true.
Teacher.
Oh yeah, teacher. Wait, so the question
you
was
look
like
you should
weird.
be in the Beastie Boys.
I'll take
You
that.
know
That's
what?
fine.
I do see that.
I'll take that. That's fine.
The beast.
I'll see
I'm with that.
Like,
He's hairy and he's got a strong jaw.
He's Mike D of the Beastie
Mike D.
Boys.
I got it's D on the hat. There we
Yeah,
go.
there you
Got a rep.
yeah.
Okay, I apologize.
No, I love that.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
No, there was a lot of weird teachers at
It's
my
because you
school.
look like a beastie little boy.
Yeah. I'm hairy.
Or maybe
so-
you're Teen Titans Beast Boy.
I never really liked Teen Titans. I tried to.
Oh,
It didn't click with me for whatever reason.
Man, like the old show on Cartoon Network was great when I was a kid, and then
The
they had
Transformers
made some
got
like
me.
I'll do one more.
They have.
You gotta drive stick
They've
shift
made
home.
some like. Oh yeah, and
takes
that
some,
friggin'
Trabajo.
E30, dude. Yeah,
My sweet baby.
dude, it is sick. I like it. It's
And
funny.
his speedometer is in meters. It's
It
hard
is.
for him to read when he's drunk. He's got to do the translation. He's like, oh, fuck, what's kilometers and miles?
It is
What are you driving?
interesting.
Some old-ass
I have
BMW,
a
right?
1985 BMW convertible.
Oh, okay, yeah, I saw that.
And see, my buddy's E30 that he has, that's a little bit newer than yours, is not a convertible
Flex. It's
either.
newer.
Not a convertible.
I kind of want a
Well-
hard time. I've been rained on a few times.
It is sick. He's got like an old Al Gore sticker on the back
That's
of
sick.
it that he's never taken off of it.
That's sweet.
Dude, I
it's-
want an old political sticker, but if you put an old political sticker on now, you're making a new kind of statement.
Right, exactly.
Are you guys?
This is
you
political?
like-
could do a
preserved.
bunch of both sides,
Like
but
it-
even then,
yeah.
people are like, "This guy's still a weirdo."
Yeah.
As far as your material, you guys doing anything? As far
Mm-mm.
as no.
That's like the one thing I avoid, just because it's like, especially as a kid who like grew up like in Ann Arbor and then went to college in like the middle of nowhere, Ohio. I got to see like the extreme of like both sides like in my developing years, and I was like, oh, this just makes people mad. It doesn't matter like what they believe. You bring
Right.
stuff up that they agree with or disagree with, they're still gonna just get riled up and like, "Arr."
What
I
about
was like,
religion?
I love making fun of it. I was
Religion can
raised
be
in it,
funny.
but I'm
There
like
you
that's
go.
I feel like
So
most-
that's on the table.
But I wasn't
Yeah.
really raised in it, and I usually just talk about myself, so it's
Yeah.
like it doesn't really come up much. But
Yeah, I don't talk about religion in my comedy
I don't know. It's
either.
Were you guys raised Christian?
I was,
Yeah.
but like
yeah, but I would only go like holidays, like Easter, Christmas stuff
Were you
once in a
Catholic?
while. I think I was technically baptized Catholic and Orthodox. I don't even know if that's allowed, but like my each side was like one on like my mom and dad's
Orthodox
side.
Catholic or Orthodox?
No, two separately. Like I think they did
Orthodox
both.
Christian or Orthodox?
No. I think I was baptized once Catholic, and then I was baptized another time again Orthodox.
Oh,
Orthodox
okay.
what though? Like Russian Orthodox?
Oh, Romanian Orthodox,
Oh,
which is
cool,
probably
dude.
similar to Russian. Like that's like one of those like 2-hour long services or some shit. But like we would never go. We went like twice. I think they just did the thing like, oh, let's get the kids baptized to make the parents happy.
yes, drown the baby.
Yeah.
Some
we
of that
lose
shit's
consciousness.
fairly violent. When you see like videos of people like they just dunking the fucking kids and shit like that. These kids are being traumatized. Like
I mean,
we
probably.
don't
Fair.
remember it, but something in the reptilian brain must store that trauma. Because when you see it happening to the kids,
Oh, for sure.
clearly they're being fucked with.
Yeah,
and
that-
they
Yeah.
know at the time that they're being fucked with.
Well, it was actually a little bit of a culture shock for me coming from
Same with
Iowa
cutting the dicks,
to-
you know.
Are you guys cut? I'm
Yeah.
cut.
I'm cut.
You're cut. Are you
Yeah.
cut?
And I'm bummed, dude. I could have used the extra quarter inch.
Same. I think we all.
I didn't have shit to give.
I mean, I learned how to use shampoo. Like,
I
come
was
on.
born in a I was born in a Jewish hospital.
Oh.
I don't even know
so you
if
didn't
I
have a
even had a
choice.
choice.
Well-
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you
Well,
go.
Like in Iowa, we have obviously like it's a rural area. We got like really devout, like Christians, really devout religious people, but we don't have anywhere near like the culture mega church the South does.
Yeah.
So, like,
dude.
Yeah.
The South is
evangelistic.
crazy.
Yeah,
But
so
the first
They're
few months I've
huge
been here, it is like.
campuses,
Yeah. So I was used to being around very religious people all the time, but I wasn't used to the way they act about it here. It like threw me.
Yeah.
It's
like, there's
used
like big
political as
festivals and
well.
stuff
Yeah,
like
big
that.
time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's what side you were on.
Yeah.
I started falling for things. I started catching like my second wife when I met her father. He was asking me questions and everything. And one of the questions I remember he asked me was like, it was around 9/11. It's like, so what do you watch? You know, do you watch Fox News or you watch CNN? And I was like, well, I watch CNN every once in a while, but then I go to Fox News and then watch that, and then I don't like what they're saying. I go back to CNN and. So I'm essentially I'm seeing him smile, and I'm essentially telling him that I flip-flop between the two parties.
Yeah.
It occurs to me that he's not asking me what news channel I'm watching. He's asking me what political faction I follow.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm telling him in real time and I'm just like, wow. And I looked at him, it's like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, like he knew what he was doing in asking me that question. And like, it took me a second and me explaining and looking at him and looking at his face. I was like, Oh, I'm saying something completely different than I think I'm actually saying.
Forget what I said. I said Fox News. All right, teacher story, Chris.
Oh yeah. So there was this one teacher. He was my physics teacher. He would go and he was an interesting looking man. He was like old, had like the classic.
Doc Brown.
Yeah, he just looked like a fat Doc Brown. He was in like he never paid off his like student like debts, and he was like he was about to be like 60 maybe when he was teaching me my senior year.
Did you say he never paid off his student debt?
Yeah, which probably like they weren't that high from when he went to college like 30 years ago at least, if not more.
But
Because I know he had like more than just like a 4 years. I think he had like a PhD or something, but still that was like
you
a
went
long.
to a nice high school too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he would climb around in like, as he would always pronounce them, as crevasses, and he did like a whole presentation like showing us pictures. He'd like climb around fucking like mountains or whatever, and we're like, bro, this costs so much money just to like buy the gear, all this stuff. You gotta stop complaining to us in like once a week in your classes that you can't pay off your debts. Like you're going to do these like once a year
so
for the last like
like
decade.
slideshows or something?
We had like these like weekly like all school assemblies, and he forced like the people or teachers or whatever that run them, oh, you've got to have reserve one entire like 25 minutes for me just talking about like climbing like mountains and glaciers and shit.
All right.
What made him weird is that he for one of like the AP physics like projects, he had them just replace all the tires on his car because he just didn't know how to do that, and his car broke down on the way home, which was complete like not a surprise because the class. Clearly, yes.
Okay.
So the kids that did it was mostly like a lot of my friends that were in that class, and they were all just looking up for each tire. They were like, "How do we make it so like it's gonna fall apart like as fast as possible?"
How did you kill this sweet man?
I mean, yeah. And then that's like what the whole class did, like all like 20, 25 kids. And then he just like didn't have a car for the rest of the school year.
So I remember when I was in high school, the teachers would have the shop students and the mech students.
We didn't have any of that. We didn't even have a wood shop. This guy was just lazy. And his car, I remember my class.
So he just had random students.
In my class, I can't remember what I did.
Did you guys have uniforms?
No.
Right.
We were like a liberal school. They weren't
shop?
Christian.
My school
No.
did.
We had a like a full.
This was
automotive,
I went to like a
shop
college
class
prep
at
school, but it was like a
school.
liberal college prep school.
Like-
So it was like fuck all like the mechanical like wood shop, like shopping that stuff, and then we're just gonna put a little more into like the like arts and stuff.
Yeah, our high school is a bit more like a kind of a trade school.
And this was Ann Arbor, so and Ann Arbor's like super like that. So
I see.
which is I mean in a lot of ways it's fun.
I just went to a normal high school.
A normal.
Yeah.
I had a lot of I mean like my friends that like I grew up with in my neighborhood, they went to like the local public school,
Yeah.
and it sounded completely different.
We had a wood shop, but it was just taught by a football coach with like 4 DUIs.
We didn't
It
even
was
have
like, just
football.
turn on the saw, kids.
My guy was Dr. Molstad. He was like a
Molstad.
the
Lick the
Dr.
saw, I don't care.
Molstad. He was also a
He
mechanic.
was a mole.
He was the mechanic.
Just an
He
animal.
was the mechanic teacher.
Dude, I wish I'd
Shop
learned more
teacher.
car
See, I
mechanics.
wish I had that.
You
Though.
know?
I really wanted to take a woodshop class, but it was never offered like my entire life. So I was like, well, the closest thing I have is pottery, but that's
Pottery's
messy.
Cool.
Yeah.
It is cool, but
That's
like
cool.
I
wish
don't
had
want to be.
pottery.
I don't want to be like
Girl
forced
woodshop,
into
dude.
pottery.
Wood shop. Hell yeah.
Everything was always taken when I was trying to do electives, so I wound up taking Latin for 4 years, not learning anything. And I had such an eccentric Latin teacher. Every fucking year it was a different teacher, but just as batshit crazy.
Eccentric Latin teachers redundant.
I found out that one of them was actually a swinger. One of my friends.
Did you find out while swinging?
No, a friend of mine was talking about how his parents were fucking her, and I was like, "Wait a minute, you're talking about Mrs. So and So in Latin?" He goes, "Yeah, you didn't know?" It's like, I don't know any. He's like, "What?"
That's awesome.
This isn't high school knowledge.
yeah. And so he like apparently his parents and our Latin teacher and among other people, obviously, were at they were like members of the club and shit. And like to him, it was like no fucking big deal, but to us, it was like revelation. It was like holy shit, because she was so unassuming.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
like the
That would
mother-
definitely change
she
the
was
way
like
I'd
the mother
masturbate
in
to
Lost
her.
Boys. You know, like it was just like so unassuming.
Dude, I also like. Maybe I've not been around a handsome flock of people, but like, I don't. Swingers don't seem like just models plowing each other. I feel like a lot of swingers are.
That's
Has
what
anybody
it's
been
like
to
in
a
the
swingers
movies.
club?
Not yet.
No, I've never been.
I've bartended an orgy, but I've never been to a swingers club.
Wait.
That is
Please
interesting.
explain.
How did you bartend an orgy?
And when?
What
Like,
is-
It's a bit of a long. It's gonna take a minute to explain.
Glenn,
to
please
get
explain.
into the
I've got all
story.
day. There's a whole bucket of beer. Like,
There is a whole bucket of beer. So,
Alright.
you know. Dude, there's another unopened beer
Oh,
right
you guys
there.
are sweet princes. All right, do I explain this? Is that
Yeah,
Please
dude,
do,
please
please.
get into this story. We
So
need
I
to talk-
was-
Let me.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
God, after this happened, it's a one of the weirder nights of my life. So I was 20 in college, making no money at all. I was working as a barista, and my buddy ran a bouncing team of all rugby players at my college.
Good bouncers.
Great bouncers, really cool dudes too. They were like buddies of mine. They all were like 4 feet taller than me, but like they were so much fun. And he ran a bouncing team that had like a kind of, as long as everybody's being safe, we don't talk about it policy. So they bounced everywhere bad shit happens, right? Like frats, bars that were like, if people are doing drugs, we're not going to tell, but if somebody looks in danger, we'll go grab them, right? That was kind of their rule.
I see.
And this art commune outside of town approached and was like, hey, we're having a big birthday party this day. We need some respectful bouncers. And we'll pay, way more than what you guys would ever make at a frat party. And they were like, fucking yeah. Like, it's 21-year-old guys that are 6'8" and jacked. They're like, what can go wrong, right?
Right. They're like, we got this. We can.
Yeah, so,
Until a gun is in play.
right. And it's at an art commune outside of town. My buddy, who's like the head who runs the team, day of, they text me like, hey, our bartender flaked. Do you have somebody? And he knows I'm short on rent. And he knows that I'm like a sociable fella. So he's
Yeah.
like, hey, all you got to do is hand out
Did you say fella or felon?
fella.
Okay.
Fella.
Yeah, I'm not a fella. I'm a sweet boy. Yeah.
We'll go to some
Sweet boys can be felons.
I'm trying, dude. They don't arrest people that look like me.
That's true.
or they do, but they never convict them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I got lawyer in my blood. No. And so he texted me, he's like, yo, $100 in tips, just show up, hand out beers. I was like, done. We drive to this
Nice.
art commune. It's me, the 2 head bouncers who are like giant rugby dudes, and then 2 guys that they call rovers, which are guys that are like more unassuming, that come to the party and like kind of go around and like don't get too fucked up and like report back to the bouncer like, hey, there's nasty shit upstairs. Just send a bouncer up to do a lap, right? So that's like their system, and it's like that. Actually, I wish more bouncers did that. A rover system's cool.
Right.
We get there. It's literally like an art commune. Like there's like a small mansion, a pool, and then like houses around the pool, like 4 or 5. And it's all normal. There's a band playing. I'm running the bar. The bouncers are like having a good time. Around 11, starts to change, and all the normal people from like the town leave, and all these older kind of like Woodstocky people start showing up.
The hippies.
Yeah, it's like it's hippies, and then it's also like people dressed in a way that maybe like dirty whore couples. Yeah.
They were dressed to fuck.
Yeah,
Is what you're saying.
And I'm looking around, and
Yes.
they were like, they told me at the beginning, like, hey, you're the bartender. You're off at 2 a.m. Please don't drink till you're off. We want you to be respectful. I was 20. I was like, these guys are fucking high. I'm getting hammered.
You're like-
I'm getting blitzed behind the bar. And so it hits like 11 and the change is coming. And I'm like, oh, wow. This looks different. I'm trashed. And the head bouncer, I'm stayed behind the bar the whole night. I haven't seen anything. Like, I'm like, it's just getting a little weirder. Whatever.
Yeah, just the
And then-
dress is different.
The head bouncer comes up to me at 11-ish, who's like my good buddy. He's like, dude, what the fuck? Have you seen anything weird? I'm like, no, dude, it's been sick. And he goes, okay, I'm gonna check in this room behind the bar where they told us not to go and just see because things are feeling weird from my end. And he's obviously completely sober.
I was to say, was he straight?
Yeah, he was straight. And he goes in the back and then comes back out, and he goes, "Have you seen the Rovers? I haven't seen the Rovers in 2 hours."
Rovers.
Those are the two guys that are like going around checking around the party to make sure that that aren't bouncers. And I was like, "Nah, dude. They both came and got a drink for me early. I haven't seen them. Thought they were doing their job." What he didn't tell me is that when he didn't walking out tell me this, but when he walked back, he saw an 8x8 pegboard of hand-blown glass dildos, about half of which were missing.
Oh.
And he's like, "Where the hell are the Rovers?" So he's like, "Where'd you see him last?" I was like, "I think they went upstairs."
Was he like super serious?
Yeah, like in a way where I was like, "Oh, uh-oh." But I was also hammered. I was like, "Oh, Lou's being a little
So
bit."
he's like chasing down dildo wielding.
Yeah,
Estivians.
just younger rugby guys. Just,
Oh yeah, the
Let's
Rovers
go.
guys.
The Rovers were just guys that were supposed to be at the party but be a little bit responsible.
Hey,
But were they? Did they end up being in the order?
but they gotta be undercover, right?
Here's where we get. So he's like, I was like, they went
Right.
upstairs. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna go track him down, see what nasty business is going on. Goes upstairs, comes back down with the Rovers. Again, doesn't inform me because I'm
Beyond the bar.
and just like goofing
Yeah.
around. He'd found the Rovers in a room with a couple. The couple were fucking, and they were both in the corner huddled up, and they'd both been like, "Hey, do you guys want to take Xanax or something?" And the Rovers like, "We'll take a little bit," and they'd given them something way stronger than they thought. And then they were like, "Do you want to join in?" And the Rovers were like, "Fuck no," and
Were-
then just
were
hid in
they
the corner.
drinking first of all?
Yeah,
You
So
say even
then-
one drink.
yeah,
even
one drink. Like,
plus
they were like
Xanax
having
can
one or
fuck
two
you up.
drinks. It was like,
so that, yeah,
so they were
that's a
they were
reason.
gone. Our Rovers were out of the picture,
Right, exactly.
and they couldn't completely explain what had happened to the actual bouncers.
I see.
So finally, and it's like getting weird. The people are separating off. The pool houses are clearly full of different kind of individual kinky things. And the Rovers, the bouncer goes, "It's 2 a.m. We're off. We're getting out of here." So he goes up to the head of the party. Goes, "Hey, can we get paid and get the fuck out of Dodge?" And I was like, "Yeah, come to my car." They go to his car.
All right,
And he-
first of all, was he like
Oh, wow.
fucked up about it?
a little bit, but he was also like an odd dude. I think he's a very wealthy trust fund guy.
I see.
So
Yeah.
super
That
straight.
was like
laced.
the guy that ran the party.
Yeah, it was his. I think it was his birthday or something. But he was like fucked up. But it was like, so they go to the car and the guy's like, "Hey, we're giving you each what we paid, but we're giving you a tip." And the tip was
a dildo.
A woman.
LSD.
Oh,
wow.
Like a good
Both
amount.
wrong.
Yeah, and like it's like rich people drugs.
Yeah.
Right, like
Right.
really nice
Clean
LSD.
shit.
Yeah. First guy, my buddy, was like, "Oh yeah," and like kind of reads the situation, pretends to take it and tucks it in his shirt pocket. It's like, "I'm gonna do this later, obviously."
Right. Smart.
The other guy doesn't take it, and he's like, "Oh, thank you," and puts it in his pocket. Like, "Oh, you're not taking it?" And the guy's like, "No." And they're like, "Well, we gave it to you to take it. If you don't take it, we're not letting you out of the car."
Oh.
Crazy.
So the other bouncer, now on LSD.
Yes.
I'm closing down the bar. They come and get me. It's now, they're like, "Hey, something's weird. What's going on?" The owner's like, "Yeah, people are setting up for kind of small stuff
But
now."
this is the end of the night, though.
Yeah.
No, the end of our night.
End of your
Yeah.
night.
The party's still going hard.
It's like
Okay.
11:30, right?
No,
You
this
said?
is closer to like 2.
Oh, okay.
This is when we're
2
shutting
in the
down. And
morning.
then they're set up
Gotcha.
for groups like solo
So
stuff.
they're
now.
making you join the party.
That was what they were going. They we get out. We're like, we're getting out of Dodge.
Oh.
I'm shutting down the bar. They've parked us in. So we're like, we can't
Whoa,
leave, and we go like,
dude.
"Yo, you parked us in." Like, we're not moving our cars. The whole night I've been bartending. There's been
All right,
so-
so how many so far of the guys at this point are
Dude.
the Rovers are gone. Some like
They,
Xanax.
or,
and-
yeah,
they're
they've
just-
been gone.
They've been gone.
But you and the other
I'm
fellas-
hammered, but that's all. I'm only drinking.
Yeah, you're
What about
only
the dude
drunk.
that pretended to take
He's
it?
completely straight.
Okay. It's completely
He's
straight.
like
He's
one
like
of the
straight.
head
Yeah.
bouncer guys.
He is, and he's like still a good buddy of mine. This
and
guy.
the other
fucking-
head bouncer guy is on LSD.
Yeah, and like literally hiding in a closet.
Oh my god.
So, the whole night I've been bartending, starting at 11 when the party changed. There's these 3 people that come in. They tell me they're from San Francisco, and there's no polite way to say this, but they were all very gender fluid. Like
yeah,
like
that's-
it's like clearly some gender bending. Like they all wanted to look
Yeah.
very sexually ambiguous.
Neutral.
Hell yeah.
And they've been tipping me all night, and not like $5,
Hey,
like
Best
hundreds.
kind of people.
like hundreds, and I'm like, nice.
Hell yeah, dude.
And they've been like chatting with me, and I'm like barging, like, yeah, fucking have a good, whatever.
Yeah, we're having fun, dude. You want some drinks? Let's have
Head
some
bouncer's
drinks.
like, I'm gonna figure out what the fuck's going on. You go wait by the fire. There's 2 Zandout guys with you there by the fire. Just like hang out
Those
there.
are the
until I come back.
Rovers.
Yeah, the Rovers are out there. Just hang out with them until I get back.
The
We're gonna
Mars
figure out how to get out of here.
Rovers.
I'm out there
Everybody's
chatting.
outside.
Everybody's outside. I'm sitting there at the end of the night, hammered off my ass. Like, this has
2
been a
in the
weird
morning.
night. Yeah. The 3 people, the fluid people, come out and start all 3 crowding around me talking to me. And I'm like, oh, like, I've been talking to him all night. Head bouncer comes back out, and he's found the other guy, and he's like, we're going. And I'm like, I'm in a conversation.
Like leaving totally.
Yeah, we're getting out of here. It's 2 a.m. We did not sign up for whatever the fuck's going on. I still don't know what's going on. And the guy goes, he's talking to one of the 3 people off to the side, and that person tells him, like, we've been buttering him up all night. We're gonna fuck the bartender tonight. I have no idea. I'm completely clueless. And Lou, my buddy, goes to me and goes, hey, you go get in the car first. We'll meet you there. And I was like, I left some shit inside. I'll just go get in the car. And I was like, I'm going to go grab my backpack. So I go inside. All 3 follow me in. And before I get my backpack, it's like in a corner. They kind of back me into the corner. And I'm, again, pretty drunk. I'm like, oh, this is really odd. My buddy, the head bouncer, the straight one, runs in. Like
Batman.
Yeah. Grabs me. I grab my backpack. He fireman carries me out from all 3 people.
Like he lifts you up.
Yeah, over his shoulder like a little baby. Like and
This ass is mine.
he's like, don't know, and carries me out. The 2 rovers and the fucked out of his mind bouncer out there, and he goes, go, and we all sprint to the end of the driveway and hide in a ditch till an Uber gets there. It's 4 a.m. in like rural Virginia.
What a crazy night.
Wheel for me, boy.
How many people total were here?
I don't know because
So from
it went in and
11
out so
to
much.
2, were you still hanging out like behind a bar?
Yeah,
Was it?
I was behind the
okay.
bar the entire night until the fire.
Okay,
Um,
until the fire.
Yeah, until my buddy's like, go wait
And they
here.
all thought you were tripping.
And I think everybody there was probably.
Like everybody was, but
Yeah.
like. as
Was
far-
there at least like 20 people, 50?
Oh, it was big.
100,
So were you guys like the
1,000?
feature of the
I
night?
don't know.
Like, were they just waiting for you guys to get off work?
I'm
to
sure they were a
fuck
prize
you?
for some people.
I think
some
that
people
we were
were there.
like-
Well,
we're
it
the
depends on how
only-
many people are there
Dude.
too.
No, there
That's
was
the
like it
question.
was a hefty crowd. I think we were the only people there that like weren't there for that. So there was a lot of people that are like, let's pull them in. Like,
So that's like the beach of Virginia.
no, it was in the mountains. It was like right next to a bunch of horse ranches.
Oh, this is making it so much grosser.
Yeah,
The mountains of Virginia.
Nobody there was a mountain person. It
Yeah,
was,
Virginia Beach,
Right,
or
they all
that
took
sounds
turns.
fun.
This was
wrong turn.
This was
Appalachia, Virginia.
this was
orgy.
a wealthy person orgy. This was not a. Yeah, this was not a trailer park orgy. This was a wealthy orgy.
I'm sure some of them were still invited
Yeah.
though.
They probably
You
rented
need
this
numbers,
place
right?
for-
I
And participants. Like, swingers come from all walks of life.
The worst part was that guy I'd served at the bar at like 11 was a speaker in one of my classes like a month later.
Really?
Oh,
And I'm just sitting in the back of the class hungover like, where have I seen this fucker before?
Oh my
What was,
god.
it?
you're like,
What
whoa,
was he a
dude.
teacher? What was he? What was
No,
he-
he's just like he did something locally and he was a guest in one of my like
that's so
engineering
funny.
classes. I was like, have I seen this guy's dick?
That's so good.
well, all right.
I told you it was a long story. There's not like a fun.
No,
that's awesome. No, that's
Worth the
awesome.
wait.
Hey, that also took a twist that we did not expect. I
Yes,
think.
that's such a crazy event. Dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I'm
You
still
know,
friends with the commune on Facebook.
When you said,
Nice.
when you said the story like at the beginning,
Yeah.
I really thought it was gonna be like, and then I joined in. I fucked.
No.
Or whatever.
No. They
I
tried
got
to
carried
get
away
you. though.
like Jane.
right.
I'm a swinger now.
Right, you're into it. You're going to Virginia, hanging out at these big.
I fly back
Airbnbs.
on the solstices. Like,
Well, damn.
Right, I don't know.
so who has another weird teacher?
I don't have any weird teachers like that.
I guess that technically could have been my weird teacher story. That guy was in my
Weird
class.
speaker.
Yeah, man.
Weird speaker.
I don't know.
Weird speaker.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that relates to that.
Yeah.
My teacher, my guitar teacher and cinnamon teacher from high school,
Yeah.
I helped him build his recording studio in his house.
That's kind of sick.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. That was like 2 summers I did that.
It's probably good money, too.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
Hold
man,
on,
it
wait,
was
2
cool.
summers?
It was sick. 2
Are you guys
summers.
boxers or briefs, fellas?
I like them. I mix it up
Really?
and do the in between. You gotta.
Dude, that's sociopath move.
No. You gotta mix it
I
up.
only wear boxer briefs.
I would say boxer briefs.
Yeah.
That's it.
But there's also like a certain age where you only like do black boxer briefs.
Did that?
Like you get in your 20s, you can pull off whites, but you get in your 30s, like you start doing like colors.
I've never even thought about doing whites ever.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm also
yeah.
pale. If I took off my
Yeah.
pants in front of a woman and I was wearing whites, it would just look like the white stripes.
Yes, it would be blinding
Yeah,
almost,
it'd be-
you know?
I'm just too afraid. I mean, there's gonna be a stain, but I don't want it to stand out. You know,
Yeah.
like
There's a certain age,
Black,
like once you hit
always.
like 45, black underwear, always black underwear. There's no doubt about it. Like otherwise you're just gonna be throwing shit away.
Yeah, what
Just
am I to
like-
stop eating chili?
Yeah.
protein.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
Yeah, dude.
Like I've randomly shit myself so many times within the last 6 months. It's just like,
Really?
I've got to stop drinking. Yeah, like 3 days ago, I'm making fucking coffee. Like I wake up.
But
the very-
you weren't sitting in this chair, were you?
No, no, I was in
I'm
the
just
house.
checking.
It's like I have a routine. As soon as I wake up, I let the dog out and I make coffee. Well, I let the dog out, go to make coffee, and there's a point where it's just like, oh, I'm not going to make it to the bathroom.
Oh,
And there's a
no.
moment where, like, if you move, you're just going to track it through the house. So it's like,
It's on your legs?
oh, dude, it starts. I'm in my sleep pants, like I shit myself, and then it's just like, well, fuck it. You take your sleep. I've lost my. This is my favorite sleep pants. They're farewell. Yeah.
It burn them.
Dude,
It's fire starter
it's just
right
one of those
there.
things, it's like, and I have roommates. What am I gonna do? It's just like I can't just like walk through the house, fucking, just shitting.
You
Yeah.
could.
I did walk through the house naked, though. I'd rather walk through the house naked than walk through the house shitting.
See,
If they
I-
come out at that time. it's
I
just
would.
Like,
I've done this once before, not with liquid, but with like a turd. But I
well,
was.
turds are different. You can always catch
But the
that.
thing is, you never know what's gonna
dude,
come
that's
out. My
true.
my
You
logic
almost
was,
toss out.
I'm gonna be shitting either way, so might as well keep my pants on because it's like, I'd rather just shit while I'm walking. I don't want to be like naked, so I'm already vulnerable, and then
But-
I also am shitting. So,
If you shit
but it was
yourself-
pretty funny when the little tiny turd like came out of the pants.
Rolled down.
My
Wow.
cousin was like, "No way!" He like went and like picked it up.
You
I was
did?
like,
No!
It was crazy. He wanted to make sure.
Crazy.
Guys, another Gulvezan.
Yeah, this is how you make people this small. We just lay eggs. We're mythical creatures.
Roll it right down your leg. There's times I've been driving and I've like shit myself.
Drunk though, right?
No.
No.
Yeah. Well,
I've shit
sometimes.
myself
Well,
drunk.
for me, I mostly have had like farts that I shouldn't have trusted. You
Okay.
know?
So
I don't really shit myself otherwise.
That rule that they say don't trust a fart over 40, that's true. Don't. Yeah, if you're out driving.
Dude, I thought it was
especially-
over 4.
I was driving once and I had to piss so bad that I was just like, I felt like I was about to shit myself. And it was just like, I got into the neighborhood. I didn't even get like, before I got on my street, I had to piss so bad and then I shit myself. Just like, I guess all the power was to keep me from pissing myself. So I didn't have all the power to stop shitting myself.
The muscles
And-
aren't
Oh,
connected.
man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know. Well, one gave. And I'm just like, fuck, I'm glad I have leather seats.
I can just remember.
That's why
I've,
they
like,
cost more.
I've
shit
been like
seats.
hungover on the way to like places and like farted and it was a shit. Luckily, I was sitting in my car, but then I have to like sit in that for a
Dude,
second,
I start
you
most
know?
days hungover with 2 whole milk lattes and a Zin.
Oh.
I haven't,
wow.
I haven't
Jesus.
trusted my ass in years.
Dude, you sit on that toilet for a while, and it's like a machine gun.
Dude, I'm like, you know, like the bars for disabled people that are on the side of the toilet.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm clenching one of those every shit, like I'm clinging for life.
well, you're also sitting
no.
towards it. You're
Yeah.
like, you need it to like.
It's
get
just
the power
white
in.
knuckling the disabled bar.
See, that's the one thing I love about being about not drinking is I don't ever have those like hangover shits anymore.
Oh, dude, there.
Like
the
all those
worst.
machine gun shits and
You
stuff are
should
like
have
not a problem
diarrhea.
for me.
Diarrhea is a,
Yeah.
is a symptom of a problem. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude,
you
I-
should have solid shit.
I think it's like I'm like sometimes like you have it bad when you're like I've been drinking too much and like the toilet I need to get my life together thought. And then I've had a 10 times worse shit after just decent Mexican food. And I'm like, oh, it's life is just like this. Like, it's just-
Anything with spice.
yeah. Like, an Indian
Oh.
dinner. I'm like, oh, this was so much worse than a night of drinking.
And we live in Nashville, where every place has their own specialty hot chicken.
yeah, dude.
Right,
Oh,
dude,
don't
and
fall in
they're
that
all
trap.
so good, but like, man, after you eat it, whew,
Oh.
I've only had a couple, and they've been
Fire.
good so far.
Okay, so it's so Prince
I'll
is
grab some
made
pizza.
out of spite. So like it's a novelty. Like try it. Try the hottest.
I haven't had that yet.
Okay. So like to me, my favorite out of all the hot chicken places is Haiti B's, and you don't even have to get like the hottest, but you can get their hot.
I can't do spice at
Don't-
all. I always have to go like the mildest they
Right.
offer.
Well, so it's just good fried chicken at the end of the day.
It is.
No,
just good
that's the
fried
thing
chicken,
to
yeah.
me. As a person like doesn't do spice,
Yeah.
I'm like, that actually tastes good. Like I'm crying, but I'm like, oh, I want to have
But
another bite because it
flavorful,
tastes
though,
good.
right,
Because
right.
like the blazing wings or whatever the fuck they're called from like B-dubs,
Oh, dude.
those are like it's really hot, but it doesn't taste like anything.
Dude,
So I'm like, I don't
Midwest-
want to eat more. Like I have one, I'm like, well, I got the experience. This tastes like fucking shit.
Exactly.
Like-
Dude, you're from the Midwest too. Midwest spicy is not like this is like a cultural experience of spice. It's just a man that's felt nothing in his life for 30 years on a farm. Like maybe if I eat this, I'll feel different.
Exactly.
Dude, they buy their fucking hot sauce at like an Ace Hardware.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, the story of how hot chicken started was at Prince's, and basically she found out that her old man was cheating. So she, like, when he came home to get his chicken, of course, she had, like, super spiced it up, and him just kept eating it. He enjoyed it so much to the point where, like, all the spite that she was trying to put in to hurt him, he was digging it. He was just like, man, this is fucking great and everything, and he enjoyed it being spicy, so that's the legend anyway of it.
That is true.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things. It's like it's a good like if you come to Nashville, there's a certain things you should do. Prince's Hot Chicken, Santa's Pub. Have y'all ever done Santa's
Dude,
Pub?
I love saying
I
that.
went
Oh,
there a
okay.
couple weeks ago.
All right, so
it was
yeah,
fun.
like, that's an
Yeah.
experience. Like a lot of people they want to do like Broadway and shit like that.
That's
No, there's another Nashville other than Broadway. Santa's Pub.
Dude, they got to
yeah.
rebrand Princess then. Princess Hot Chicken. Cheating works.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Well,
like-
it didn't work. I mean,
No,
she
cheating
probably
makes good
shot
chicken.
him. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Probably.
I don't know, but
I had Bolton's. Bolton's was good.
so Bolton's is okay. To me, my favorite if you're gonna. If I'm
Well,
gonna do
Bolton's
it
also
anyway,
has the fish, and the fish is really good.
I
Oh, yeah.
don't do seafood.
Ah,
I can't.
okay.
Living on Long Island and seeing like how they fish and shit like that, and
Where on Long Island are you from?
several places, but Farmingdale. You can just say. Let's
Alright.
just say Farmingdale.
Alright.
So yeah, it's like not like a great area town. Later in Queens. So
Dude, I
it's
love
one-
Queens.
So Queens is great, and what is great is like I was allowed to run around. So we moved to Tennessee in 1980, but in 1984 we moved back to Long Island. But instead of moving back to Farmingdale, we moved to Queens. So I was just my parents or my mother didn't give a shit what I did, and so like I was allowed to be unleashed along Queens, and I just went all different kind of places and shit, like just on my own for like just to me, like if I had a kid, I wouldn't imagine letting my kid just run around Long Island.
Yeah.
like a time where like even here, like we had bikes and we would be in different counties. Like we would be in Murray County if we lived here and shit like that. My parents would never know.
But Queens is also like, to this day, a mixing pot in the way that like very few places in America are.
It's one of my favorite experiences as far as being a kid and getting to explore a place, because like I remember being in Farmingdale, but we were like kids. But when we moved back into Queens, like I had 4 years of Nashville and the experience I've had from that, and then coming back into a place that was more receptive to the human experience than the bigotry and the racism that I had to deal in Nashville. So it was really it was a lot of freedom and stuff like that, to the point where like I didn't have to deal with that. Like I could talk to somebody and not have to listen to somebody else's rhetoric while I shouldn't be talking to that person. Yeah. You know, and so it's such a different
also
experience.
when like it's all the like Queens, and I mean there's South Philly's got some of this too, but like places where there's a lot of different ethnic groups that live together, but it's
the food is great.
Yeah, but it's not just segregated like America, black and white. It's you got the Polish neighborhood, the Italian neighborhood, the Greek neighborhood.
Yeah, German,
right?
Chinese. You have it all.
Yeah.
I remember walking, just going downtown, just going to all the different places and everything where you'd see things like blood oranges. Have y'all ever had like a blood orange before?
Fuck yeah, those things are
I went
awesome.
by a chocolate fucking shop, and they were like literally chocolate boobs and chocolate dicks and chocolate vaginas in the fucking window. As a kid,
I thought all those were in the Bronx.
Yeah, dude. We're like, holy fuck. But yeah, man, it was just like a different place. It was just like the freedom living there as compared to like living in the South.
That was a good one though. I liked it.
I think it's
The Bronx, as far as the zoo, talking about one of the most depressive zoos I've ever been to in my life as a fucking kid. Just like, holy shit. Going to the Bronx Zoo, it was just like you see these animals and you're just like, holy fucking shit, are these people beating these fucking animals? It was just they all looked like they were on fucking dope. They were like, just like, hey man. It was just such a weird experience. It was like the hood of zoos. Sorry, Nick.
Oh dang. Oh, you're good, man.
Did I get you?
Oh, whoa. No, just my phone, man. It's alright though.
We had an accident.
I got a little bit of an accident,
I was-
but that's okay.
Squirting.
last time I was in Queens, I was up there for work over St. Patrick's Day,
Napkins over there.
and I went to an Irish pub on St. Patrick's Day, thinking it was going to be like an Irish pub I know, but it was an Irish pub full of actual Irish people,
All right.
which like wasn't, I mean, as it should be, but I was like shocked because like an Irish pub on St. Patrick's Day I thought was just like the drunkest suburban kids you know. So like seeing like actual Irish people celebrating, I was like, this is what this holiday is.
Did it get too fucked up?
No, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
It just got a little bit on the phone, not too much though. So we are marking that down.
Nick, if you ever didn't live in Nashville, where would you live? Like as somebody that's like outside looking in on a bunch of other cities.
I've thought about it. I like Asheville a lot.
Asheville
Just still
City.
in Tennessee.
No,
Or Carolina.
That's North Carolina.
North Carolina. So like still the South.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you identify as Southern?
I feel like I do a little bit. You know. Not too much. I mean. I think that's probably where I would want to move. That's a place I've thought about. But the thing that keeps me from that is just the lack of them having a comedy club.
Yeah.
You know, like their scene is so fully run by like the independent. You know.
So
like,
restaurants and shit like that.
yeah, so like all brewery and bar shows and like occasional theater shows.
They got a good
and stuff
festival,
like
right?
that. Yes, they have a very good festival. Shout out Melissa. I mean, she really has run that thing for a long time. It's been going for like 15 or 16 years or something like that, I think. But they have no clubs, so it's like still, it's like they book headliners to like do their local theater shows, and like, but they just don't have like a club around to do like the weekends, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And to get real
the
people
guys
coming
don't
through.
come and do weekends, like they do like one-nighters and leave, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very different environment compared to what we have with like Third Coast and Zanies both being here, and we have like
Do we have room for
shows
another?
here, you know?
Like we could get another club and still have a good scene.
Right, you know, like it's one of those where like they don't have like a central place to where everyone goes to. They have like their open mics though and stuff. Their open mic scene looks pretty good. It's kind of similar. Like they have a Tuesday night mic at the Asheville Music Hall, and it seems to be like their East room.
Yeah.
Because it's packed. Like it's a room that seats like I think 80, and I saw like 60 there. You know, like
Shit,
good,
that's a
good night.
That's better than a show for a lot of us here.
That was their Tuesday night open mic. Like, and they do that every week. I'm sure it's not that every week, but I'm sure it is.
Dude, I will say if I was just starting comedy and I bombed in front of 60 people, it'd be...
Right.
I mean, I'm not wearing a seatbelt when I drive home.
No, exactly. You're fucking just sitting there in your thoughts thinking about, I don't know.
Dude, that when I did that 10 minutes, it was over 100 people
Yeah.
that watched
Oh my
me. It was
gosh,
insane.
dude.
Yeah.
Holy cow. See, I was doing it at places like Twin Kegs and like DeHerm's out east when he had that running, man. That was the places. Or,
Dude, I did it at Your Love and Exile.
yeah.
I did it
dude,
all-
that was,
I continue to do it.
and you continue to go and do
Yeah.
it, and it's so rough.
Yeah,
Every
dude.
time. There's no audience there.
I like it 'cause it's just friends watching friends eat shit.
Right. We're just there talking to each other.
You can see good comics there eat shit, and you're like, nice.
It's great. It's such a...
And then a few people on a first date will like walk in
Yeah.
from that room. Or
And I feel like
whatever.
they're like drinking wine out of a can and eating a burrata cheese board. And we're just on stage like, fisting's weird.
Well, it's like a fancy bar,
Yeah.
and then they walk into like this room in the back with like all these pipes and people yelling profanity into
By
this
the way,
microphone.
only in Nashville can a fancy bar be a bar that specializes in canned wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Wine, dude. Canned wine and
To be honest, though,
You
props
know
to them
what?
for not being a brewery.
Yeah.
They're a winery, which is, I mean, close enough, but at least they differed
true.
a little bit.
And
There's
they-
too many breweries in America. I love beer, but like, let's streamline it. It's ridiculous at this point.
I appreciate
Shout out
the
Dos Equis.
difference, you know.
Big brands.
Between them and like Disc and cider, I guess those are the only two. Because I don't know
Yeah.
if we have anything else.
We got a meadery.
Meadery, we do have
Do
a
you guys like
meadery.
mead?
It's all right.
I don't think I've had it yet.
It's like drinking bread.
Dude, every time I drink mead, my eyes go separate ways.
Okay.
That sounds pretty fun.
It's like 15% and it tastes like honey. Like,
Right.
I look like a hammerhead.
And the honey tree, they had, I think they did mixed drinks too, or they took like different seltzers, like a local seltzer,
Yeah.
and mixed it with their mead.
You know, I'll say this: I've worked in coffee shops at least on the weekends for 8 years now. Like obviously, I love coffee shops. Every coffee shop I've ever worked in has done like a coffee stout pairing with a brewery. It's been dog shit every single time.
Really?
Nobody's made a good coffee stout ever. Please stop. Just make a good latte for a shitty person and make a decent IPA for another shitty person.
Did you ever have the Guinness
There you go.
coffee beer thing that they tried to make?
Dude, Guinness
It was atrocious.
Guinness is breast milk for Midwesterners.
I don't know.
But the coffee version that they made was gross.
I buy that.
I think the only coffee
I
stout
did,
I
and it
love-
just was not up. It's like they had to keep it separate. I don't know what it was. I tried to believe My roommate who drank like 4 cups of coffee a day, I was like, he likes coffee. He'll probably like this. He was not a fan.
Really?
Yeah.
When I drank, I liked coffee stouts. Like one
Really?
of my favorites was from Wiseacre, which is a Memphis.
Oh, that one
Memphis
is pretty good because it's got like the
brewery. Gotta
bitterness.
Get up to get down.
Yeah.
It really just tastes like you're drinking a black coffee.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like beer.
A lot of them they make them sweet, like
That's what I want. That's what I'd like it to be.
That's what gotta get up to get down is. So you gotta start. You can get them at Kroger. It's from Memphis, but you can get it here in town. Yeah.
Dude, that
was
brewery
mine,
that
for
brewery
sure.
also does Tiny Bomb. That beer
Yes.
Tiny Bomb.
That's
And I have a
more
joke
like
with another
IPA,
comic in
right?
town. Has David Friedlander done this show?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's me and
I
David.
haven't booked to do this show soon.
He and I have a joke that because we always, you're at a show or an open mic, we'll have a beer before we go on. And if it's a Tiny Bomb, we always had this joke forever, like, well, dude, little premonition. Tiny Bomb, you're gonna bomb. And we've had to stop drinking them because we kept bombing after
Oh,
we were.
jeez.
You gotta stop doing it, man. That's
It's a curse. And it's a good beer too. It's a drag.
I know. So maybe just switch to the coffee one.
Yeah. Now I only drink hard liquor and I slur my words on stage.
Better.
I
way
slur my
better.
slurs.
I was about to say.
You get a little saucy.
Yeah, a little sassy.
A little
A
sassy.
little sassy
You guys
boy.
like psychedelics?
Haven't tried them.
I've
yet.
only taken very small doses, and I've wanted to do it forever.
What have you done?
Mushrooms. But it's always like I'm like drinking, and somebody's like, "You want a microdose?" And I'm like, "What's that?" And then I just eat whatever he hands me.
Right. And you feel better.
I go home at 11. I watch cartoons. They've actually always been great nights.
Hell yeah.
Every microdose I've done has been great. I've done a few trips here and there, and the majority have been fun. I've had a couple that like have started fun and then like have ended kind of bad, but I think it's just because I was in like a bad headspace to begin with, and I shouldn't have.
Set and setting.
Yeah.
You
I also,
know,
it's a thing I've loved.
I was by
recently.
myself too. You know.
You love psychedelics?
No, it's
No.
like an observation, I guess, because they've come out with all this like research on psychedelics that's been very beneficial and great, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every NPR podcast has like a segment on it and all that. Like that, there's been a lot of like publicity about it, but there's been a wave of like suburban parents that now learn that it can maybe help your mental health. They're like, I've been really interested in mushrooms lately to just like teenage kids.
My Instagram is full of like non-like psychedelic mushrooms, but just like this bullshit mushroom like supplement feed. It's like all these like yoga milfs that are like, you eat these like pills that are full of mushrooms. And then there's like a 3-second clip of Joe Rogan being like, "Oh, I took these mushrooms like portobello or whatever," and then it's just like this like yoga milf in the fucking like kitchen like making some smoothie.
I was taking mushroom supplements for a while.
I've never had them. My feed is I'm clicking. I don't know. It's maybe all the bikini things are linked to that I'm looking at on Instagram.
Is there
Like,
a mushroom tattoo on their upper thigh?
Maybe I don't know.
Maybe.
But I was like, I've never bought a mushroom related thing, at least online or on I've never bought anything on Instagram or like through a link.
We used to do mushroom episodes on the show.
Those would be very cool.
You should invite those women.
We started
And
off with
wink.
just doing dried mushrooms, but they were just so like hard to eat. We would like eat like a quarter at a time. But then we found these Wonder Bars, which are these chocolate bars,
yeah.
which were oh my god.
Those have to be fun. I've actually had I took some at Twin Kegs. One of the last nights that it was
Mushrooms or the
open.
chocolate
I think
bar?
I know why your
chocolate bar
trippings have been bad.
mushrooms. no, that was a great night, dude.
Really?
That made Twin Kegs way more fun. I was like just vibing that
So
night.
the
with everyone.
chocolate
You were there.
bars
You may
are
have
Because
been
doesn't
weird.
mushrooms like eliminate fear?
No.
Yeah, so it eliminated your fear of dying in
No.
Twin Kegs for the first time
it
ever.
Can make you more anxious at times.
My
Like,
hope,
I
Nick,
was
is
in a
that
good mood.
one of like the core memories I have of you and I talking at an open mic, you were just on mushrooms and have no idea what you were saying.
Really?
He was on mushrooms and
I
don't
was
know.
probably on the chocolate mushrooms.
I don't know, but there's one or two times where we've been at Twin Kegs and you and I have had like really long, thoughtful talks, and I've gone home and been like, that was really nice. Like, man, that Nick Weir's a really thoughtful man. And I just hope it was one of the times that you were just like, I had like wings or some shit. Like,
I probably was, because you know what? I'm pretty fucked up there all the time.
yeah. Well, dude, they had PBRs for $1.65.
Right.
Oh,
right.
dude, yeah.
Hell
I was-
yeah.
We had good times there. I would usually, when I did drink when I was there, I would drink like tequila or whiskey.
So you
or,
quit while you were doing comedy?
Yes, I quit in
Well,
my
we met
first
him
year
when
of
he
doing
was
stand
drinking.
up. Yeah, you did. You
So I
met
said,
me when I was drinking.
By the
and
time
then
I
when
was in the picture,
quit.
you were done.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I forgot that I have been doing this show since I was drinking.
We met you. You were heavy set and you had short hair, short-ish hair.
Yeah.
You were still that when I met you. You
That's
just weren't
true.
drinking.
Yeah.
Then you got
Yes.
handsome.
You got very
Yeah,
lost
dude.
some weight. That's
Yeah.
all. I just started exercising.
Yeah,
That's,
dude.
That's it.
Wrestling.
Wrestling. Right, dude. I've been lifting my 130-pound
Jujitsu.
girlfriend. You know? It's been
At least she's been lifting you.
Yeah.
she's been lifting me, and then I've been lifting my 75-pound dog.
Now I look like the
Squat her.
smallest version of Hosier. Like-
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, really, just Noah Khan if he lost a few pounds. You know?
Dude, looking better than Noah Khan's a good feat. If you're a guy that looks like Noah Khan, looking better than Noah Khan is sick.
There we go. Here we are. Life is good. As we sit here and eat pizza and zins and shit.
Let me poison ours, as we do it like poisoning.
Hey, but look at you, dude. You got a lady too. What's going on with that? Is it going well?
Yeah, dude, the ladies a good time. I don't know,
Yeah.
I hadn't had a steady thing in a few years before I met this lady, so it's a little refreshing.
Nice.
You know, it's like
It
like you know
is.
when you don't do stand up for 2 weeks and you go on stage and have a great show and you're like, I still got it.
Yep, exactly that. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
you still got it in you. Look, you
Yeah.
can find somebody.
I can still be a gentle, sweet man.
All right. What are you guys' upcoming gigs? Got anything coming up?
I'm doing stand up on the spot with Nick
You are
coming up. I got a show at Grandpa Bar. We do Saturday night 5. We do about once a month. We have 5 great local comedians come in and do 10-minute sets. And those have been, it's a little bit of a late night show. Those have been super fun. I think that's the upcoming stuff I'm really pumped on.
Hell yeah. I'm doing Parrots Lounge in Grand Rapids, June 20th.
Okay.
nice.
And then Josh Fox's show at
Common John.
Common John's June, I think it's 22nd. It's a Saturday.
Yeah, that would make sense. His
It's a-
Common
whatever
John shows
Saturday is
tend to
around
be
that
The
date.
same Saturdays as like our show and like other shows in town. That is true.
If it's not exactly the 22nd, it's like that Saturday. And then yeah, that's what I've got going
Rev,
on.
we gotta get
Manchester.
you doing stand up.
So,
Yeah, dude.
we've talked about that. I've got it written down, and I've got a lot of different things that I want to do. And I was going to do things during the holiday season, but during the holiday season, I wound up having a fairly bad breakup. So I wound up going to the open mics, but not actually getting on there. Mainly because I was always getting on at the very end of the list, and I'm not like gonna get up there at fucking 11 o'clock at night and play to 2 people. So.
Come to Grandpa Bar, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah, this is an early mic.
but we're taking a break after our last show on the 22nd, and at that
Yeah.
point, I'm gonna get back into my material, and I'm gonna start doing Mario's Wednesday nights. If
They
In
got
Clarksville.
they got
In
dollar
Clarksville.
cans during happy hour.
Wow.
Dude, that's the reason I
Holy
can't go.
cow.
If I go up in those dollar cans, I have to drive 40 minutes home.
What's something you
Dude,
need 'em.
yeah, that's.
Well,
If you bomb, oh man,
Dude.
$5 you get 5.
And I'm not wearing a seatbelt. We've been over this.
yeah, you're not wearing a seatbelt, and you don't have cruise control in that car.
Or airbags, dude. It's a game over screen for me.
Nick, what is your upcoming gigs?
Oh, dude. All right. I mean, I don't really have. I mean, we have our show on the 22nd, and we have
The Wednesday
fucking-
shows.
The Wednesday shows. That's like the 22nd and the 24th. 6th, I think, on those ones.
So we've got
stuff.
we are taking a break. So our last show of an evening in comedy is June 22nd. June 22nd. We've got a couple. We got a band. We got solo artists. We've got 6 or 7 comedians booked.
For that.
That's going to be a good show. Nick and I are going to continue to do the Wednesday shows, of course, and we'll see what happens at that point.
Oh, we're actually doing a Wednesday show every Wednesday in July, except one.
Oh, Oddlit. Sloan and I are doing Oddlit. It's an improv metal band. We've done it a few times, and it's actually kind of the video that we shot here. We would shop around. We got like a few gigs for it, so I'm interested to see what happens with that. But yeah, it's that's gonna be interesting.
That will be, dude.
Improv metal band's a cool concept.
Yeah, totally.
Shit. I've dates in like July. I could talk about.
Yeah.
But that's
Throw 'em out
really
there.
it.
Mr. Senior Weir.
Oh, dude. I don't know. The Common John in Manchester, July 6th, and Funny on the Spot at Third Coast, July 12th. Comedy at Kava in Clarksville. That's one of
THC.
Erica and Mario's spots.
They do a good job with those.
On the 13th, July 13th. Yeah. I mean, that's look out for that.
Any last words?
Thank you guys for having us.
No, we appreciate
Thank
it.
you
Good
guys
time.
for having us, for the booze.
You guys should come out to our big show where we have the bands and
Yes,
the
it is a
comedians
ton of
doing
fun.
sets.
Yeah.
Definitely come out.
I'm
and
definitely
support.
down.
Just when we have them
Yeah.
too. Also, we still have Cole's flask. I need to get that from you.
It's on my deck,
Perfect.
so
I'm
I'll
gonna take
just
that.
remind me. Yeah. There's always someone leaving their fucking like beverage container.
I know. He texted me today, and I was like, "All right, I will get this for you, dude."
All right. Fuck you all. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, damn. All right, good night.
See, we